There are 572 islands in total in Andaman and Nicobar territory, and only 38 of those are inhabited, of which only 12 are open to tourists. The islands have been divided into 3 districts: North and Middle Andaman, South Andaman and Nicobar. The capital is Port Blair in South Andaman. North Sentinel Island is a part of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It is only about 50 km from Port Blair. It is a small island of 60 square km and is covered by a dense forest. The people living there are called the North Sentinelese, but that's the name we gave them. We don't know how the tribe refers to themselves. It is believed that about 70,000 years ago, some people migrated out of Africa. This is known as out of Africa theory, that the first modern human beings were from Africa and the people living on Sentinel Island now are the direct descendant of the people who migrated out of Africa. It is said that the North Sentinelese tribe came on this island about 10,000 to 30,000 years ago, and since then they have been isolated and cut off from the rest of the world. It also means that they never learned agriculture because agriculture was discovered about 12,000 years ago. We can say that while living on this island, they never felt the need for agriculture. And this means that this is the last Stone Age tribe. They are the most isolated tribe in the world because they want to remain isolated. Every time the outside world has tried to establish contact with them, they resort to violence most of the time. And in November 2018, John Allen Chow, a 26-year-old American missionary, decided to go to India's North Sentinel Island illegally. John was a Christian and was so obsessed with his religion that he wanted to teach Christianity to the people living on this island. He had made many attempts to contact them to teach them Christianity. He even tried to give them Bible, but unfortunately all his attempts got failed and the Sentinelese killed him. Historically speaking, the oldest written record of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands with us is from the 2nd century AD, when a Roman mathematician Claudius described the Andaman and Nicobar Islands as the islands of cannibals. This description wasn't limited to North Sentinel Island only, rather it was for the entire Andaman and Nicobar Island, so we don't know which tribe was referred here. After this, in 673 AD, a Chinese traveler traveling from Sumatra to India said that the people living on the islands were cannibals, meaning that they eat human meat. The Arab travelers who visited the Andaman Islands during the 8th and 9th centuries said the same thing. In the 11th century, a temple was built during Rajaraja Chola's first reign which contained inscriptions claiming the same things, that they consider these islands impure and they believe cannibals live there. If we talk specifically about the North Sentinel Island, the first record of it was mentioned in 1771 when an East India Company ship passed by this island and the surveyors spotted light on this island. The next account of it was in 1867 when an Indian merchant ship with around 100 passengers met with an accident on the shore of this island. The survivors of the accident were attacked by the Sentinelese. Fortunately, they could escape with the help of the British Royal Navy. This was the first case of the North Sentinelese people attacking and driving out outsiders from their island. Then in 1880, a British officer, Maurice Vidal Portman, decided to meet with the Sentinelese people to establish contact and try to civilize them. By this time, the Britishers had established contact with the other tribes in Andaman. They had friendly contact with them and they could communicate with them as well. When Portman went to North Sentinel Island, he brought with him people from other Andamanese tribes so that the Sentinelese could communicate with the other tribesmen. But when they reached there, he found that the tribesmen of other tribes in Andaman spoke in a language so different from the Sentinelese language that they couldn't communicate with each other. After the independence, the Indian government had conducted several expeditions to the North Sentinel Island. In 1967, Triloknath Pandit became the first official anthropologist to visit this island. He had taken a team of 20 members including scientists, member of the armed forces, unarmed navy personnel and the governor. On the island, his team followed the footprints of the Sentinelese for about 1 kilometer, but they couldn't find any humans. So the team returned, leaving behind some gifts for them. In 1970, an official research team went to this island and set up a stone tablet declaring that the North Sentinel Island is a part of the Indian territory. In 1974, an Indian film crew went to this island who made a documentary on the tribes of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Triloknath Pandit was there with the film crew as well as some armed forces. Once again, as gifts, they left behind some coconuts. They had even taken a live pig to present as a gift. They left all these things on the shore and moved back to see how the locals would react to them. After some time, some tribal people came out to the shore and started attacking them with bows and arrows. One of the arrows hit the director of the film, Prem Vaidya, on his thigh. They even attacked the pig that was left behind as a gift to them, killed the pig and buried it in the sand. This was the first time the North Sentinelese people were captured on camera. In 1981, a merchant ship Primrose going from Bangladesh to Australia met with a storm and got stranded on this island. Once again, the people of the Sentinelese tribe came to attack these passengers, but because of the weather conditions, their arrows could not hit them, thankfully. They sent out distressed calls and somehow managed to survive near the ship. 1 week later, they were rescued by a helicopter. But this is a major incident in the history of the North Sentinelese people because it was the time when this tribe had seen iron for the first time in their lives. They discovered iron then. After this, whenever contact was established with the Sentinelese people, it was found that these people had started using iron from the same shipwreck. This shipwreck can still be seen on Google Maps. You will find it in the north of North Sentinel. The next big historical event took place in 1991. This was the first time when the North Sentinelese people made the first friendly contact. It was the first time when someone had gone to visit them and they weren't violent. In January, an expedition was led by the Indian anthropologist Madhumala Chattopadhyay. She went with a small team without any weapons, offered coconuts, and this time the Sentinelese people actually took the coconuts. There was something quite shocking in this friendly contact. There was another expedition about a month later. Triloknath Pandit and Madhumala went on it together, and once again the Sentinelese people didn't use any weapons. But it was the last time when the Sentinelese people were so friendly towards the rest of the world. The expedition after 1991, every effort to contact the Sentinelese people saw only violence. As a result, after 1997, the Indian government banned people from going to the island. The government realized that there is no point in trying to communicate with them again and again when they do not want any communication at all. They are living peacefully on the island and they should be allowed to do so. The government had an eyes on, hands off policy towards them. In a way, we will monitor the tribe. If they need any assistance, we will give them, but we will keep our hands off them. In 2004, there was a devastating tsunami in the Indian Ocean. The officials of the Indian Coast Guard went to monitor the situation on the island from a helicopter to ensure that the island was not damaged and the people living there were safe. In return, the helicopter was showered with arrows and the officials in the helicopter realized that since they were being attacked, the Sentinelese people must be alright. But because of the tsunami, this island was lifted up by 1.5 meters. The people of the tribe seemed quite healthy and so there was no need to worry. In 2006, there was an unfortunate incident. Two local fishermen got quite close to the island by mistake and the Sentinelese people started attacking them and eventually they were killed. After this, the government decided that there needs to be a 5-kilometer radius so that no one gets even as close as 5 kilometers from this island. The 2018 incident of John Allen Chow was the latest incident. This man was madly obsessed with Christianity and knowingly went to the island and was killed. The question is, what do we know about these people? According to the diary written by John about his experiences, their height is not more than 5 foot 3 inches to 5 foot 5 inches. Additionally, the video footage that we have shows that the Sentinelese people have short hair, they have shining dark skin, well-defined muscles, and there were no sign of obesity or malnutrition. According to John's diary, some of the people has yellow paste on their faces. They don't wear clothes but wear some fiber strings on their head, neck and loins. Surprisingly, they are not very curious about their surroundings. The nearest island to the North Sentinel Island is merely 36 km from it. It is inhabited. Even so, the Sentinelese people never tried to go to the island or to explore places outside their island. In terms of food, we know that they cannot farm. They survive by hunting of animals such as wild boars, the fish, and harvest turtle egg as well. Apart from these, they eat fruits, flowers and such things. They even use honey. Language is one of the most interesting things about the North Sentinelese because they cannot communicate with any outsiders. On one expedition, Triloknath Pandit took along a member from another tribe in Andaman from the Onge tribe. He couldn't communicate with the Sentinelese at all. Not only this, Triloknath Pandit revealed that when the member of the Onge tribe approached them, the Sentinelese people were infuriated. Regarding the language, John wrote in his diary that their language contains a lot of high-pitched sounds such as ba, pa, la and sa. With regard of their lifestyle, the Sentinelese live in two different types of houses. A big hut for multiple families to live together and a small hut for single family. According to John's diary, there are about 250 Sentinelese on this island, while the estimates of Indian government ranges from 50 to 500. We know this about their behavior, that they do not take dead bodies back into the jungle. They don't cremate the dead. They bury the dead on the beach under the sand. And as for the accounts of ancient historians, the oldest written records that the people living there are cannibals, eating humans, it is not true. The most interesting things that we get to know about them is that the North Sentinelese people can live sustainably. They live on one small island without cutting down the forest, living harmoniously with nature and without any overpopulation. Hey friends, thanks for watching. Please subscribe our channel for more amazing stuff.